Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of Mujer De Exito, Unbounded, Woman of Success Without Limits. Hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo están? Espero que se encuentren muy bien. Hola, hola, hola. Gracias por estar aquí. I am your host, Marti Angel, Mujer De Exito, Unbounded, as we said before. So today is part 2 of a 5-part series. I like to do things in 5 parts, right? So thank you so much. If you're watching this on the replay on the Coach Marti Angel website, gracias por estar aquí. Thank you so much. And if you're listening to this on the podcast in the audio version, gracias por estar aquí. Thank you so much. You are going to love today's episode. Today's episode is part 2 of the 5-part series that offers mujerpreneurs tips to rock their biz. So today we're talking about, hoy vamos a platicar of the power of clarity in entrepreneurship. You as a mujerpreneur need to know this. So welcome back. Like I said before, if you're just joining us again, this is Marti Angel, your host of Mujer De Exito Unbounded. And I am known as the Latina Biz Coach, Empowering Latina Coach. And today, like I said, we're going to explore one of the most important elements of success in entrepreneurship. And for that matter, in all business, right? In everything, clarity, even when you're manifesting, right? We want to make sure that we're manifesting very clearly, that you've got a clear vision in mind, right? Same thing when you embarked on your journey as a mujerpreneur. Es muy importante tener claridad de dónde vas a ir, claridad de tus metas, claridad de dónde quieres llegar. It's really important. So as you have embarked on your mujerpreneur journey and you took that leap of faith, you had a vision, you had a dream, and the courage to pursue it. Cuando empezaste tu negocio, tenías visión, tenías un sueño y tenías lo que necesitabas para perseguir tus sueños. But what's so important is that many of us do not have that clear vision. And you know how I can tell? It's really important to have that clear vision because you need to know exactly when somebody asks you, who is your target audience? Who are you selling to? If you don't have a clear vision, you're going to think that you sell to everybody. I've heard that so often when I say, well, who's your product for? Who's your service for? And then I get the answer back, it's for everybody. Yes. So is food, right? Food is for everybody. But the truth of the matter is food to some people is not food for other people. So we need to be very clear. Necesitamos esa claridad que a veces nos hace falta como mujeres emprendedoras. But we all know that dreams are not the way to get to your goal, your end goal. Alone, those dreams are not enough. They're not enough. I wish they were, because if so, imagine for all the dreams what we would be already accomplishing. But let me tell you, we need to have a clear vision of who we are, what service we offer, and who we serve. And then it even gets more important because not only do we need to know who we serve, we need to know what are their pain points, what are the problems they're looking to solve. And that part is for another podcast, pero ahora. So today we're going to talk about how to crystallize that vision to make it a driving force in your success. That's so important. Tenemos que tener esa claridad muy clara, cristalinamente clara, ¿verdad? Porque con esa visión va a ser lo que necesitamos para llegar al éxito, ¿verdad? Muy importante que entiendamos eso. So when I say clarity, what do I mean? Because people say, well, what do you mean by clarity? Well, let me answer that in the context of business. In the context of business, clarity is having a deep understanding of your purpose, your values, your unique selling proposition, and most importantly, your ICA, your ideal customer avatar, your ideal customer, not just your target audience, which is the big picture, right? But for example, target audience could be men. But then we have to get a little bit more clear, men between 30 and 35. And then we have to get even more clear, men between 30 and 35 who have dark hair, and blue eyes. Right? So you got to be crystal clear. Without this clear understanding, mujeres chulas, hermosas, I love you, pero a veces you need to understand that without this clarity that I'm talking about, your business can easily lose direction. Now, for me, being an ADHD entrepreneur and just ADHD type person, it really is important that I continue to focus on who I'm serving so that I can make sure that I stay on that track of the GPS and not get sidetracked. It's so easy to get sidetracked. Trust me, as a college educator, I knew I started out in education. I've been through elementary school. I've been through middle school. I've been through alternative school. I've been through high school. I've been to college. I've been to university. All of those. But at each level, I needed to know who I was really serving and what was their problem. Their problem was that they couldn't read. Their problem was that they couldn't do math. Their problem was they didn't know technology. Whatever it was, every class of mine, I had to know exactly who I was serving. Same thing in business. This is not, rocket science, but we make it feel like it's rocket science, right? A veces, híjole, pensamos que, ay, no sé, yo no sé, yo les vendo a todo mundo. Sí, pero si en realidad no sabes ¿qué son los problemas que tú estás resolviendo o que tu producto o que tu servicio están resolviendo? Pues chula, no le vas a ayudar a nadie. So let me share an example. Consider Patricia. Now, I want you to know that the names have been changed to protect the innocent. I love to say that, but truly, Patricia is not her real name, but we're going to say Patricia. So Patricia, who is a mujerpreneur, started her own fashion brand, okay? And I loved her, and she was, coaching in my coaching group, and just an awesome, beautiful lady. And she loved fashion. And she had this dream of creating clothes that would make women, mujeres, Latinas, feel beautiful and empowered instead of always feeling like we were bulky and too curvy and all of that stuff, right? But she struggled to sell her designs. So she had these beautiful things, but she struggled making sales. Now, somebody would have said to her, oh, it's because you don't know how to sell, so let me get you a selling coach. But a selling coach doesn't help you if you don't know who you're serving. So she wasn't selling. When she came to me, I asked her who she was selling to. She said, everybody needs my stuff. All of my Latinas need it. Well, I could say the same thing about my coaching, right? All my Latinas need it. But the truth of the matter is I only serve the mujerpreneur. So though I know about being in business, I can serve them too if they reach out to me. But the truth of the matter is, my ICA is the Latina bilingual, or BIPOC Mujerpreneur, who's ready to up level from brick and mortar to click and order and begin to rock their 6 figures. So what does that mean? That means that they have to be making 5 figures in their business before they come to see me, right? Now, because Patricia wasn't clear about her unique selling proposition or who her ICA was, who her target audience was, what ended up happening is she tried to appeal to everyone and ended up appealing to no one. And that's what I tell my students, and I know that you've heard it from other gurus too. If you try to sell to everyone, you're going to end up selling to no one. Now en español. Si crees que tu negocio, tu servicio, tu producto es para todos y que todos necesitan tu producto y que tú vas a venderle a todo mundo, al final de cuentas no le vas a vender a nadie. So once Patricia took the time to crystallize her vision, mijita, agárrense que allí vamos. Everything changed. She realized that what she really wanted to do was create high-quality, sustainable clothing for eco-conscious women. For eco-conscious women. So her line was sustainable clothing. Her designs were unique. They were not really fast fashion pieces, that would go out of style in a month. She wasn't trying to compete with, the big name brands on price. What she wanted to do instead is offer value through sustainability and individuality. Now, let me ask you, as you're listening to me, isn't that a lot more clear? So with this clarity, Patricia was able to effectively communicate her unique selling proposition to her target audience. Once she got that, amigas chulas hermosas, her business began to flourish because her customers knew exactly what they were getting when they looked at it and they bought it and they actually valued it. So she was making sales. And, it was so funny because she said right before she came and joined our group, she was really thinking that her problem was the fact that she didn't know how to sell. So she was going to go get a sales coach. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're already, looking for a coach, that's great. But there are certain areas that you want to clarify before you go out and get a sales coach, right? So now I'm going to ask you, how do you think that you can achieve this clarity? Well, I'm a big proponent. And when they ask me, I'm a big proponent, Marti Angel, me, yo, I am a big proponent of self-coaching. I write myself coaching questions that I ask myself over and over and over again. So let me give you some questions that you need to start asking yourself. For example, the first question that really needs to be pondered by you is, what is the core purpose of your business? ¿Cuál es el propósito de tu negocio? Es la primera pregunta que tienes que preguntarte para clarificar dónde vas. ¿Cuál es el camino? ¿A quién le vas a servir? And then the next question that I would definitely ask, so take out your pencil and write these down. What values do you want your business to embody? Now for that's what I call value-driven marketing, okay? You need to know your values. In my course, in my Rock Your Business Academy course, that's one of the first modules I talk about is like, you need to know exactly who is your core business and what are your values, because your audience, your ideal customer is going to resonate with your values. It's just like creating friendships and relationships with other people. You create friendships and relationships with people that resonate with your thought process, with your ideals, with your, with what you are promoting, talking about, or whatever it is. And it's no different in business. No hay diferencia cuando estás haciéndote estas preguntas en self-coaching. Es muy importante. What unique value does your business offer to your customers? I'm going to repeat that. What unique value does your business offer to your customers? Take some time to write that down and really begin to ask yourself. Now, here's the other thing I want you to understand is all of these questions, they don't need to be answered right away. They don't. They need to be pondered. They need to be thought of. They need to be, maybe you might ask your social media, ask those questions, see what you get, so that it can help you clarify. By asking questions, you get more clarity on what you need to answer for yourself. Then ask yourself, who are your ideal customers? ¿Quiénes son tus clientes preferenciales? ¿Quiénes son tus clientes ideales? ¿A quién le estás vendiendo? Who are your ideal customers? And in order to be able to answer that, the truth of the matter is you really have to break it down into more parts. And one of the parts is, what are their needs? What are their desires? And what are their challenges? Example, let me give you a perfect example. When many of you may know me from many moons ago, because I've been on this earth a long time. I am, and I still am, because I take only now personal clients. I'm a functional diagnostic nutritionist. I'm not your run-of-the-mill nutritionist. I do hair analysis, saliva testing, and other things, right? So, who my ideal customer is, it's that person that knows that something is wrong, but when you go to the doctor, you run all the tests, they run all the tests, and they say to you, oh, everything is normal. But you, in your mind and in your heart of hearts, you think, no, this is not normal. I don't feel normal. There's something up with me. Those are the clients that I serve. Those are the clients that together we go on a search. Together we go on a hunt. Because what are the underlying factors that are making you feel not healthy, right? Maybe they're running out of energy. Maybe they're forgetting things. Lots of other things. Maybe they have night blindness. So we go on this quest, but those are my ideal customers. Those people that know exactly that, those people that go to the doctors and the doctors say everything's okay, but they know in their heart of hearts that it's not okay, that there's something up. So that's how you niche down, right? So I don't take clients that say, hey, you're a nutritionist, give me a diet to lose 20 pounds. I don't do that. That's not my clientele. That's not who I serve. Can I do it? Absolutely, positively. But I don't work with those people, right? So that's what you have to find out. Who are your ideal customers? Tú tienes que saber quiénes son tus clientes ideales. What are their needs, their desires, and their challenges? And those are going to resonate with your values. So asking yourself these questions and answering these questions, I'm going to be honest. It's simple, but it's not easy. Let me repeat that. It is simple, but it is not easy. Haciéndote estas preguntas y contestándote estas preguntas, no es fácil, pero es muy esencial. So answering these questions may not be easy, but it's essential. You've got to know who you're serving. And you may need to do some research. And that means asking questions of the people that you've worked with, asking questions of your friends, asking questions on social media, asking questions to your email list, right? And then maybe some introspection, some really hard introspection, because you've got to go within to be able to think out. But once you have these answers, amigas chulas hermosas, al momento que ya tengan estas preguntas resueltas, como dicen, you're going to have a roadmap for your business. Baby, 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 let's go, right? Al momento que tú sepas a quién vas a servir, ¿cuáles son los retos que tiene esta persona? Tú vas a poder tener el mapa para el éxito que te lleva al éxito de tu negocio. So remember, tu negocio, your business exists to serve your customers. But understanding them is key to your success. When you know who your customers are, what their values are, what they want, then, amigas, chulas, hermosas, you can create products and services that meet their needs. Now, there ain't no stopping you now, like the song says. There ain't no stopping you now. You can begin to really hone in on what they need so that you can communicate with them in a way that resonates with them. You know, it's so funny. Let me tell you a little story. And you know how I love those little bird walks. Let me tell you a little story. So when my husband and I got married, it was so interesting because he is a CFO. He's a CPA, always behind. He's not really he sort of is an introvert, right? And so it was so funny because I would tell him, it's not that you're an introvert, it's that you haven't had practice communicating with people correctly. Because he was always, communicating with numbers, right? So it was so funny. One day he says to me, we were in a chat and we were talking, and he says to me, I don't care if they don't, if they don't understand what I say, that's their problem. And I was like, not true, como dice el gringo, not true. You've got to learn how to communicate in a way that resonates with your customers. The whole purpose of communication is interaction, right? And connection. You need to form that connection. The reason, especially if you're a female, because mujeres, we as females, we buy from emotion. If I don't like you, I will tend, honestly, to not buy from you. Not because I want to be mean, but because there's not that attractor factor, right? So you've got to think about this as bigger and beyond you. You've got to tú tienes que encontrar el modo de comunicarte con tus clientes. Y ese modo tiene que servirlos a ellos. No es como tú quieras comunicarte. It's not how you want to communicate. It's how they want to be communicated to. Right? So you've got to make sure that you can build a strong and meaningful connection with your ICA, your ideal customer avatar. But at the same time, don't lose sight of who you are and what you stand for, because I've seen that happen as well. You need to know your values and your unique selling proposition so that you can set yourself apart from the competition. Your customers and what they bring to the table, they make your business special. They give people a reason to choose you. The way that you communicate gives people a reason to choose you and your services and your products over other options that are available to them, right? For instance, I will not drink any milk that has any sort of oil in it, unless that oil is only coconut, right? And you would be surprised how many nut milks out there throw in canola oil, throw in corn oil, throw in vegetable oil to get the smoothness. No, I'm sorry. That is bad oil, and that's going to cause my liver to clog, and I don't want that, right? So I choose other options available to me, which is what's going to happen with your other customers. You're not going to be able to serve everybody, but you've got to know who you are serving. In the end of all of this, we go back to what this whole talk is about, is that achieving clarity is a process. So as you are thinking, okay, this is clear, this is who I want to serve. If it doesn't work, well, then you can kind of, finagle the things a little bit different, but it requires self-discovery. In order for you to be able to serve your customers, you need to know who you are and how you are serving you, self. Because self-discovery is embedded in understanding your customers, and aligning with these two elements makes it key. It's really important. Now, I get it, because you're probably out there saying, ay, mujer, Marti, pero it's challenging. See, I never said it was going to be easy. It is challenging, but I promise, chula, it's worth it. When you have a clear vision, you have a guide, you have a roadmap. That's kind of like when you want to buy a house. Yes, there's a lot of houses over there, but if you don't want a 2-story house, why are you looking at 2-story homes, right? You've got to know exactly what you want. Like I said, it's going to be challenging, but it's worth it in the end. When you have a clear vision, you have a guide. Cuando tú tienes esa claridad, que sabes cuál es tu visión, vas a tener esa guía necesaria para llegar al éxito. Sin esa guía, no vas a poder llegar. At that point, when you've got this clear vision, you know where you're going. And now, because you're so clear, you got that clarity, you're now going to know how to get there by taking one step every day. So now, here's your homework, because as an educator and as a Latina biz coach, I love to give you homework. So if you're listening to this, here's your homework. Take some time today to reflect on your values and your vision. Ask yourself those hard questions that you heard me ask earlier. Go back, rewind, save this podcast so that you can ask yourself those hard questions. When you get those hard questions answered, you'll be able to have more clarity and have more clarity in the direction that you're going. And if you need to, reach out to me. You can find me anywhere on social media. To this day, right now, I am still answering all questions personally. So don't settle for vague answers, mujeres. Háganme preguntas if you have a question. I want you to strive for clarity and watch how that transforms your business. quiero que empieces a pensar en la claridad que necesitas, porque vas a tener esa transformación en tu negocio que necesitas, que buscas, que anhelas tener. It's so important that we have clarity. I hope you found today's talk valuable for you. I hope you found value in what I had to offer and share with you today on the Mujer De Exito Unbounded podcast. I love to tell little stories as well, in between. So you listen, you tell me the little stories, personal or from my coaching group. And if you're interested, I'm going to be opening up the coaching group in October. I thought it was going to be September, but I think it's going to be October, so that you can hit the ground running in 2024. So if you're interested, here's the deal. I do not take more than 50 people. I know that sounds like a lot, but I've been in cohorts that are like 3,000, 4,000, 300. I only work with 50 people at a time for 6 months. And then those 50 people, then hopefully I just help them. Now you're welcome to stay, but I help them kind of move on, and then we do it again. So I open up the cohort twice a year. So, but this year it's important because we have so many changes happening. So I'm opening it up again in October. So if you're interested in that, please drop me a line. If you're watching me on the YouTube, drop me a comment and say, I'm interested in the next cohort of coaching, business coaching, which ends up being mindset coaching and everything that goes with running a business all in one. And I'll answer you. Si estás interesada en ser parte de un grupo pequeño, 50 personas o menos, de coaching, déjame saberlo. Hazme una pregunta. O déjame saberlo y te doy más información. As always, guys, I hope you found value. This is part 2 of a 5-part series. This is Marti Angel, your host of Mujer De Exito Unbounded, signing off, wishing you the best. And I'll see you on the next one. Gracias por estar aquí y acompañarme. Gracias, gracias, gracias. Y nos vemos a la próxima. Namaste.